All right, guys, welcome back to the Out of the Closet podcast. With me is dietitian and chef NAVIN HARIPRASAD. He also happens to be my husband. And on the the previous segments, we were talking about your upbringing, how you're a gay man, happily married gay man. And
if you couldn't tell.
Yeah. You grew up with Indian parents, obviously. You're an Indian American. And your food influences from your mom have translated into your food. You've become a dietitian. We talked about some fad diets. Now let's get into the meat of it. We got 1 year, a little less than 1 year, to lose some weight, get our bodies nice and tight. What are the small steps we can take right now, right at the beginning, to get us going?
Well, I definitely feel like we need to form a habit of doing exercise as frequently as possible. Okay. So if we can incorporate it daily, that's obviously a huge benefit, but I definitely recommend that we start incorporating exercise pretty regularly. Then we should really focus on not eating any kind of processed foods, or if we have processed foods, very minimally processed foods. So that's that moderation component where we're going to just eat things, but in very small amounts or every so often.
Okay.
Then I suggest that we probably should cut down our alcohol intake.
No!
That it's a lot, okay. But those are empty calories in a sense. So if we want to switch to maybe a little bit healthier option, which would be like red wine, we can have maybe like a glass once in a while. But when it comes to the drinks that have higher sugar content, that's where we definitely want to eliminate. That's not really a problem for us, but for anybody that's kind of preparing to go on a cruise, they need to cut out the sugary drinks.
So vodka and soda for the rest of the year?
I would not say vodka soda. I would say gin instead.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. You can choose whatever you want, but make sure that the mixers are the ones that don't have added sugar into them. So,
all right. So we're going to work on our diet. We're not going to eat bad things.
Well, we're going to have things in moderation.
Okay. But I'm saying, like, how can I get really fit? Like, what am I going to do? Like, let's go through, like in the morning, what should I be having for breakfast? What should I be having for lunch? You talked about this fasting. When should I be doing that?
Well, you're fasting overnight. That's one. And you're eating earlier right now before around 6 o'clock. So that's a long fast from your dinner to breakfast. So we kind of are doing intermittent fasting without you really trying, which is good. That's a good way for us to kind of reset. Then we are lowering our alcohol intake. The moment you get up, if you want to work out and then have a breakfast, that would be good because you're kind of going to be in that mode where you're fasting and you can kind of burn off a little bit more. And then just obviously choosing things that are going to be lower calorie, put you in a little bit more of a calorie deficit.
Are there foods you can have like 100 times and it's not going to hurt you at all? Like
vegetables.
Which ones? I thought they had
low starch vegetables.
What's a low starch vegetable?
Well, anything other than potatoes, peas, and corn. Those are like your typical
potatoes, peas, corns.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of those we can't have. We can't have any.
It's not that you can't have it. It's just you can only have those in smaller amounts. So those are still great carbs for you. I'm never saying that starchy carbs are bad. It's just you probably need to have those in smaller amounts.
Okay. So
and they add up a lot faster in carbs.
Okay. So we can't drink everything in moderation, but we really shouldn't be drinking.
We're going to decrease the amount of drinking that we do and choose drinks that are not high in sugar.
Okay. And then, now, let's say we step foot on that cruise ship and our bodies are looking amazing because we've applied all these principles. Okay. We're on this cruise ship. How do we stay like in check? Because you're surrounded by tons of food that's there. There's, alcohol that's there. Or do we just enjoy ourselves for this cruise?
I think there's going to be a point where we work so hard throughout the year that we should be able to relax and enjoy. If you're obsessing about every single component of your diet, you're not actually doing lifestyle modification.
Okay. Real quick. What are the biggest mistakes? Like whenever we first were dating, NAVIN made me aware of how much sodium was packed into not just, canned and processed foods, but all the fast foods and those kind of things. So what are I would say like the top 5 things we can stay away from to make sure we get on a path that's perfect?
Well, I definitely think we should stay away from the buffets, which we never really eat, but
People at home should stay away from the
areas
buffets,
of mass consumption.
Okay.
Like a pizza party, or something where a ton of unhealthy food is going to be at.
Okay.
Staying away from fried foods. We have an air fryer, so we've figured out a way to make foods that we typically like that are fried a little bit healthier, which is great. I also think because we haven't really been going out, and dancing, our alcohol intake is basically barely anything. So
but now we just drink at home on the couch.
No, that's not true. You might, but we don't. No, we don't drink alcohol as much as we used to when it came to going out and socializing. So I think that's been a huge plus for us. I also think that as your in-house dietitian, I'm able to basically make amazing foods that have been modified, but still have that flavor component that you want and still have that food component.
In 30 seconds or less, can you give me and the listeners at home and the people that are watching the podcast online the most, imperative diet advice?
Well, guys, you have to identify what are your triggers, and you've got to be able to modify your lifestyle so that you can have a healthier overall quality of life. That's going to involve having good sleep, adequate sleep. It's also going to involve exercise. It's going to involve portion control. It's going to involve you being happy overall and really making sure that you're surrounding yourself with things that are going to make you positive and more uplifted. And then really kind of cooking from scratch, using whole foods, making things as fresh as possible and staying away from the processed ingredients, and then lowering your alcohol intake. And then plenty of exercise.
Wait, you keep saying and then you said one more thing and then
and then sex is always good too.
Oh, so okay. I like to end on that note. Well, speaking of ending on that note, we are done with this segment. I love you so much. Thank you for coming on. I will tell you, if you guys want to get in touch with NAVIN, it's really easy to do. You can email him at NAVIN@yahoo.com. I know that's a complicated long name. You can go to outoftheclosetpodcast.com. I'll post it there, but it's NAVIN, NAVIN, HARIPRASAD, HARIPRASAD @yahoo.com. You can email him there. He can help you with any kind of dietary information. If you'd like to talk to him about your weight loss goals, he can help you out with that as well. All right, guys, if you don't mind, we're going to stop real quick. I want to play a game before you leave.
Okay.
It's called, Would You Put This in Your Mouth?
Uh-oh.
All right, what I'm going to do, it's really easy to do. I'm going to show you two different photos, and you tell me which of the two you would rather put in your mouth. Now, this could be either your own fantasy decision or a dietary recommendation. Okay, so for the viewers or for the listeners at home, if you'd like to see the game being played, you can go to outoftheclosetpodcast.com and you can check and see this video. All right, so here's the first image I'm going to show people at home. All right, it's a hot dog or a big old summer sausage. What would you like to put in your mouth? Hot dog or big old summer sausage?
The whole summer sausage or like a piece?
You just have to answer the question. This is a game. We're not looking into it too much.
The hot dog.
Hot dog or summer sausage? He says hot dog. Okay, hold that. Put that in your mouth. All right, we got a cream-filled item here that you're going to put in your mouth. You're going to put this cream-filled Twinkie in your mouth, or you're going to put a big old cream-filled eclair in your mouth. Eclair, that's healthier to do?
I'm not saying it's healthier. You're telling me what would I put in my mouth, and I'm telling you as it is.
Okay, there you go, eclair. All right, up next. Do you want to put a big old eggplant in your mouth, or would you like to put a big old piece of meat?
Eggplant.
All right, eggplant. All right, up next. Would you like this in your mouth? What would you rather put in your mouth? Pea soup or spotted dick?
Pea soup.
Pea soup, no spotted dick for my husband.
Thank you.
All right, would you rather put this in your mouth? We either have nuts or gumballs. Nuts in the mouth. All right. Oh, flip that around. We got the wrong side. All right. What is better for you? What would you rather put in your mouth? We have a shot of espresso, or we have energy drink.
Espresso.
Okay. Espresso. And then last but not least, would you rather put this in your mouth? Mike Tyson or Tyson Bedford?
Tyson Bedford.
Wait, Bedford, I think.
Whatever, Tyson.
Okay, Tyson Bedford. Yay! You get all the points, and your prize is a big kiss from me.
Hey,
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Chef NAVIN, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you again to my twin flame, my husband, the dietitian that keeps me in check, and the chef that keeps me nutritiously fed, Chef NAVIN HARIPRASAD.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you were able to join us today and taught us everything we need to know about keeping our diets healthy, clean, and yet still enjoyable through moderation. All right, if you want to get in touch with NAVIN, you can email him at navinhariprasad@yahoo.com, or you can find him on Insta and see all of his amazing culinary creations, pictures of our bulldogs, and all the fun that we get into on the weekend at NAVIN_chef. That's NAVIN_chef on Instagram. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Mwah, you were the best guest ever.
That's true.
I have to actually say that. Well, anyway, I'll see you later tonight in bed, okay?
Okay.
Hey, bow chicka bow wow. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has had such a significant impact on the LGBTQAI plus community. Gay pride events were canceled or postponed worldwide. LGBTQ plus themed organizations and charities have had less donations and had to increase their services and or even unable to operate in some cases. A number of gayborhood restaurants, retail, and other businesses are hurting too. Gay bars couldn't open at first, and they've spent a lot of money to try to convert outdoor spaces into safer environment, only to be shut down weeks later. And our gayborhoods and LGBTQAI plus communities have been impacted both by COVID-19 itself and its economic impact at disproportionate rates. Restaurants and bars have managed to survive, often through restructuring of how they serve their clients, to go, delivery, or through fundraising, grants, and government loans. Even the world famous Stonewall Inn was saved from closing by a fundraiser, and it would not have survived without that support. You know, LGBTQAI plus people are always a little extra, so we tend to have more pre-existing health conditions such as asthma, cancer, or obesity, or being immunocompromised that would worsen chances of survival if they became infected with COVID-19. We also tend to drink more and we smoke more, adding to these health conditions. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but we are also less likely to have health insurance, so you got to stay healthy. 2020 was the year of canceled events. In fact, more than 220 gay pride celebrations around the world were canceled or postponed in 2020 alone. This directly affects the businesses in the gayborhoods that these pride celebrations typically occur in, financially stressing out gay-owned business and gay-friendly businesses, and oftentimes putting mental stress on the owners and employees of the businesses as well. And these closings are happening faster now, just a little over a year since the pandemic started here in the US. For instance, in the 1980s, there were more than 200 lesbian bars in the US. And as of November 2020, there were only about 15. And that ain't right. In Orlando, Florida, a gay resort known as the Parliament House announced it was going to close after 45 years. And that ain't right. And right now, as you're hearing my voice, there are several gayborhoods that are on the verge of collapse. We won't have a place to call ours. We won't have businesses that we loved and made so many memories at. And that ain't right. So what can we do? Well, you probably already have heard about fundraisers, drag shows, festivals, and all those other events that have moved online. And that is the best and most immediate way to give. And you can also look at purchasing gift cards to the stores. You can buy gift cards for future use at gayborhood restaurants, bars, stores, and other gay-friendly businesses in the gayborhoods. You can reach out to the owners of the business. I know this seems crazy, but reach out to them directly and reach out to the businesses in our gay communities and see how you can help. You may be able to volunteer, you may help them in reopening, or maybe there's financial ways you're able to help them directly. And of course, as things begin to open up and are safe to come back out and reopen, go out and support these businesses like never before. If you love dancing, go out dancing, pay the cover fee, and have a blast. If you love dining out, eat a meal, but don't just eat a meal. Go ahead and get an appetizer and a dessert and or a drink with every meal that you go out for, and bring cash. Tip your servers. I guarantee you they're really going to appreciate it. Bring cash. And if you love to drink, then schedule a million Uber rides and get out to those bars. But seriously, be safe, drink responsibly, stay socially distant, mask up, okay? And tip those bartenders, bring the cash. Okay, and speaking of tipping, when those drag queens and those dick dancers start putting on in-person shows, you better bring wads of cash. Bring your friends, make it rain, pay their rent, whatever you need to do. Just make sure you get out there and support our Gayborhood so they can get back to that vibrant, beautiful place we've all known as a safe haven for all of us. So just do that. What I'm getting at is that your Gayborhoods need our support. Okay, our Gayborhoods need us, and they need us in order to stay afloat. And any help you can give goes a long way. I love our fun, festive, and fabulous Gayborhood.
It's Mystica Masala, owner of the most famous drag queen food truck and the winner of the Great Food Truck Race on Food Network. Now you can get my extremely tasty Mystica Masala spices and spice blends. The same spices we used in my award-winning dishes featured on Food Network, even my famous tikka masala blend and my savory and spicy tandoori blend. Plus, my free recipes on the back of every package. Just log on to dragfoodtruck.com. That's dragfoodtruck.com. Enter OOTC at checkout for 15% off.
Hello to all my Out of the Closet podcast family. I don't want to beg and I don't want to come off as needy, but the Out of the Closet podcast only exists because of listeners like you, and I really need your support. Any financial support you can do would be amazing and greatly appreciated. Whether it's $5, an ongoing monthly contribution, or if you just want to hand over your total inheritance and put me in the will, that's fine too. Anyway, it's really easy to do. Just go to outoftheclosetpodcast.com and click the support tab. Thank you so much for supporting the Out of the Closet podcast.